Okay, so you're good. Okay, let's go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Ty.
Hey.
Yesterday, Chris was talking about the fact that without fans in the stands, that you guys really had to kind of fire each other up and give yourselves the energy yourselves. How were you able to do that? I mean, what were you saying to the guys on the field and on the sideline to get them fired up and, kind of used to that environment?
Yeah, it's quite the adjustment. Obviously, not being able to play in front of fans, feel like they definitely give us a boost of encouragement. But we got to adjust, we got to adapt. I think a lot, has to come from within, and then from there, is us feeding off each other, us trying to keep each other motivated, keep each other encouraged. Especially when we don't have that momentum, we don't have fans in the stands. We got to find a way to be positives, especially in slow games, games where we're not playing, to the best of our abilities. We just got to find that dig deep within.
Go next to Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Tyrann, good afternoon. How are you?
Good, doing well.
Hey, Coach Spags mentioned earlier a lot of the difficulties that go into defending against a quarterback, a dual threat quarterback like Lamar Jackson. From the back end of coverage and your message to the guys up front, how important is gap responsibility and lane responsibility against the Ravens offense?
It's extremely important. Even outside of, obviously Lamar Jackson keeping the ball, I think a lot of their run game, is gap oriented. They're moving pieces, they're pulling people. We're going to have to be able to adjust. We're going to have to be able to read and react, on the fly. And I think a lot of that is us making each other right as well. Like I said, they pull a lot of people. They tend to get great leverage on the defense. And I think us, especially on the back end, we got to be cognizant, of just keeping leverage, making our linebackers right, making the defensive end right, just so we can get out of the down.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Tyrann. I know last week after the Houston game, you weren't real happy with the way you guys finished. Just wanted to get your kind of temperature on where you are now through 2 games, how you feel about how you guys are and where you are at this point in your development.
I'm still kind of pissed, but I'm definitely encouraged. I wouldn't say that I'm discouraged. I know the guys that we have, in our room. I know the coaches that we have, and I know we'll be able to adjust and get it right. So I'm not worried about that. Obviously, we had high expectations coming into the season to, try our best to, live up to the standard, we set last season. And but we got to dig a little deeper. Obviously, we're going to get a lot of teams' best shot. A lot of offensive coordinators are going to draw up their best plays, to kind of beat us and keep Pat off the field. So we got to dig a little bit deeper. And I think, this is a great opportunity, playing on Monday Night Football, playing against a team that runs the ball well, can stretch the field vertically in the passing game. So our hands are full, but it's a great test. It's a great challenge for us. I'm excited to see us show up and, show everybody who we are.
Go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Ty, I remember you mentioning in the offseason just how fun it was to play against Lamar, because there were some times where you had a chance to get your hands on the ball. I'm just wondering, what's your excitement now playing him last year, sort of the head-to-head battle of maybe seeing him on the outside with the ball in his hands, or just kind of reading his eyes and seeing the route tree and understanding, trying to figure out a way to disrupt the passing game as well?
Yeah, it'll be a great challenge for me. Obviously, he's one of the best players in this league. Even from the quarterback position, you can see him really beginning to develop. He's able to read different coverages. And I think deep down inside, he wants to be a pocket passer. I think he really wants to prove that part of his game. And so, obviously, anytime you compete against somebody, of that caliber, especially under the bright lights, I think in my mind, it's always going to bring out the best in me. So I'm expecting the best from him, and, hopefully it's a good game.
Let's go next to Todd Lebo. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Tyrann, you mentioned just the emotional part about not having fans there and getting hyped up. But just actually during the game, though, there were several false starts last week on both sides. The quarterbacks kind of have even more of an advantage, I guess, because they can draw you guys off sides. How much do you guys have to talk about that and to make sure that you're not getting tricked a little bit because you can hear too much maybe?
Yeah. I feel like obviously, throughout the league, really, quarterbacks have been doing a great job, with the hard count. We just got to find a way to stay locked in, and it's hard, like I mentioned, especially, not having fans there. It's not any excuse, but I think as professional football players, got to find a way to lock in for that play, that moment, and then being able to go to the next play and not think about the last one. So, I think it's a big challenge on everybody that's involved in the game to just try their best to stay locked in.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Tyrann.
Hey.
You playing next to a guy that's coming back from the same injury that you went through a couple times. How long was it before you felt like you were back to your old self coming back from an injury? And have you had ongoing conversations with Juan about, patience in that area?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been through that injury twice. And it's a lot of growing pains. Obviously, it's a lot of work that Juan has already put in, but it's a lot more that's going to be required, for him to really get back to the level that he's confident in, that he's comfortable in. And I think, nobody holds themselves to a higher standard than Juan, and he's continually, pushing towards that. I think, my position is just to always encourage him, keep him positive in the right kind of mindset, letting him know that, it may not happen, when you want it to happen, but just continue to push through, continue to smile, continue to develop your game, in other areas. So that way, when you do come back 100%, you're on a completely different level, mentally. And I think that's where he's going to head.
We've got time for a couple more guys. Let's go Steve Walls and then Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, what's up, Tyrann?
Hey.
Hey, when you look at this Ravens team, I've heard a lot of those guys say they feel like Kansas City is a team that they have to go through if they want to make it to the Super Bowl. Do you guys feel the same way about the Ravens? And does that make this game any more important than the next?
Well, I think, obviously this is a big time football game. There's no way around it. Monday Night Football, playing against, Super Bowl contenders, playing against, a team that has, really won most of their games since, Lamar has taken over quarterback. So, I think for me it's any other game, but, obviously the emphasis is, it's only going to be one first round bye this year. So I think all these conference games are important, especially when you're playing against, teams that are going to have the chance to kind of, take that spot. So, it's a very important game for us, especially, the way we played, against the Chargers, and even how we played, in the fourth quarter against Houston. So it's a hell of an opportunity, great opportunity for us, and I know we'll rise up.
Let's go last to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Tyrann, just one off the field question. You had a voter registration event this week. I was wondering how that went, and I know it's been a point of emphasis for you and Pat, just how that effort has been going for you in general, stemming from that event and leading into November.
Yeah, I mean, I probably say it's all been going well. Really just trying to do my part. Be a vessel for people to gather information, to do what's necessary to make change in their life, in their world. And so I have a great opportunity, a great platform to be able to support others, help others get to, where they need to go. So we'll continue doing that, even, outside of voter registration. We'll continue to try our best to, impact the kids, impact the community, in a positive way, and, just try to push the world forward a little bit.